We will now create coded UI test. I will add a test project. We'll call it calc UI test, and then we'll click OK. Now I will remove the file unittest1.cs. I'm gonna add now a new test file and choose coded UI test and change its name to be coded UI calc. When first coded UI test open, it tells you whether you want to record the action by yourself or get the action from an existing recording actions from a manual test. So I will choose I will record the action myself. On the lower bottom, this will be the controls for the coded UI test. So let's begin our test now. I will start record. 1 plus 3 equals 4. Now I will go to generate the actions that I have done to be in a method. We'll call it add 1 2 3. Then click on add and generate. It's generating code, and after it generates the code, it will get me back here in case if I want to do some other actions. So let's make another one for subtract. 2 minus 3 equals -1. Let's generate these steps and name the method subtract 2 from 3. Now I close here and back to Visual Studio. And here you can find the method called coded UI test 1. It has the two methods that we created before, or the actions, the add 1 2 3 and subtract 3 from 2. So if we now run this method, it will pass. Also, it won't do any validation, and as you can see, it was a wrong one, so we need to add here validation. So I will comment the subtract and make a validation for the add function. I'll right click and generate code for my coded UI test and open the test builder. And repeat the addition again. Okay, now I will click on this one and hold the mouse till I get to the text box and choose from these properties the text call for and adding assert from above. Choose are equal and 4. Okay. Now generate the method. This method will validate that the addition of 1 2 3 equals to 4. So let's generate this method now and run our test and see what we'll get. Close here. Refresh our test view and then run the coded UI test. Now it will fail because I didn't empty the text box from the calculator. And here's a set function says expected 4 and actual is 44. So empty and runs test again and test pass. Now we're gonna do the same thing for the subtract, but I like to have the subtract in its own method. So I will copy this whole method and paste it again, and only make it for subtraction. We call it method 2. Now gonna go with the test builder again, because I want the validation for the -1. Now we're gonna add our set function. Generate the function. Close. Alright, now we can test it. First we refresh the test view, then choose redo method 2 and 1. And method fails. We'll just clear the text box now. 1 again. And it will pass. Now I don't like every time to clear the text box of my calculator, so I want more smart way. So it's better to make each test start the application alone and close it alone. So I will record now an action for starting the application and an action for closing the application. Start with closing. During the code, call it closing calc. Generate, and now we code the starting of the application. Double click, generate. Let's make it starting calc and generate the code. Now we will have two functions, one for closing and one for starting. There's something called down here additional test attributes. It has two functions, one called myTestInitialize and the other called myTestCleanup. TestInitialize run with every test and also the cleanup. So I will put the closing in the cleanup and the starting in the initialization. And we'll run the two tests of add and subtract and see what we'll get from there. Now let's refresh test view, close the program, and run the addition. To open the application from itself, make the addition and pass and close. Let's test subtract. We'll do same thing, open the application from itself, make subtraction and pass, then close. Now it isn't good to double click on the application and run, because now if I change the folder, the test case will fail. So it's better to find another way. I strongly recommend, if you make your application, to be in the programs from the start. So I will click on start programs, then select your program. This is the best way for making our application. Or if you want, you can use system.diagnostics to start the process, like what I will do now. This is just for demo purpose, but I don't want to recommend it at all. I recommend to make an installation package for your application and to start the application from start menu. Now let's give it a try. Okay, so I will change the folder so to be sure that everything's working. Refresh data view and run subtraction again, and it will open, yes, and pass and close. Hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you.